Hey, where should this go on this interface?
I don't know. Put it under there.
Under where? What is up, lovely researchers? It's Kevin. Welcome to Method Mondays, where I apparently post it on Tuesdays. I'm gonna get that fixed up. Anyway, it's a series where I talk about different UX research methods and how to conduct them. Today, card sorting. Oh my gosh. Have you ever had trouble finding something on a website? Like, is it under the settings or preferences? Or the three dot thing? What the hell is that? You know, like, are coats and outerwear the same thing as jackets? Do I look under the same place? Like, damn, why is it so hard? These problems relate to something called information architecture. It's just a fancy term for how things are organized, okay? Now, how do you figure out how things should be organized? Well, a card sort could be the answer. A card sort is where you give your user a bunch of cards with your features or settings on them and ask them to arrange it in a way that makes sense to them. When you got enough participants to do this, this can really help inform your design. Now, when do you use a card sorting method? Well, it's super easy, alright? Listen, if you ever hear your stakeholders talking about what and where something should go on an interface, or they're not sure how to group or organize something, there should be an instant light bulb going off in your head. Oh my god, this is an information architecture problem. Card sort! So how do you conduct a card sort study? Well, you can conduct one in person or online. If you want to do one online, you can use a tool called OptimalSort from OptimalWorkshop. They don't sponsor me, but hey, if you're watching, for this video, I'm mainly going to be talking about the in-person card sort study, just because you can get a good sense of me showing you, what a card sort study looks like. If you want to see the online tool, comment down below. I'm going to break it down into 6 simple steps on how to conduct card sort study. Step 0. So it's actually 7 steps, but this is actually this is something you should always do, and that's figure out what you're trying to study. What are you trying to learn? As always, what are your objectives, right? Then step 1, limit to 40, 50 max if you're doing this in person. I know there's some articles that say 80 to 100 cards. Don't. Participants will get tired and they're going to hate you for it if you give them 100 cards to sort through. Step 2. Figure out if you should do an open card sort or closed card sort. Yes, there are 2 kinds. An open card sort is one where you just give your participant a bunch of cards and have them go buck wild. Organize them into groups that make sense to you. A closed card sort is one where you already have predefined labels or categories, and you want to see how your participants might fit those cards in those categories. Alright, that's the difference between an open and a closed card sort. Step 3. Now that you've decided on what cards to use, now it's time to do it. For the in-person study, you want to have a large enough table for your participants to play around with. Give them blank cards to write on if they feel like something is missing. Tell them that if they're unsure of some cards, that feel free to put them aside for now. Have them think aloud, talk aloud their thoughts as they go along. That's the advantage of doing it in person, so that you can ask them why. You can't do that online. And you're there to observe. If you notice them pick up a card and they're confused about it, ask them about it. I don't know if this one belongs anywhere. I think I'll have to throw this out. Step 4. Now, if you started off with 40 cards and they formed 30 groups, that's way too many groups. Ask them if they can combine some together. On the other hand, if you start off with 40 cards and they only have 2 groups of 20, ask them if anything could be split up. Now, you're not trying to lead them, so do this only after they've sorted the cards the first time. You really want to dig into why they formed the groups the way that they did. Practically speaking, if you're going to take this back to your stakeholders, participants formed 2 big groups. it's probably not going to fly. I should also mention that once they've finished organizing their groups, ask them to label their groups. Step 5. Take a photo of the card sort. Step 6. Now that you've finished your sessions, it's time to analyze the data. To note down any qualitative comments that people have made, particular cards that were of confusion or that you notice patterns with, which groups do people form, and quantitatively I organize them and I clean up the cards into an Excel sheet by participant, by card, and then I run an R script, and then it gives me a sexy dendrogram like this one. It shows me exactly how strong the correlation is between groups of cards, and I think it's just a beautiful and a great way to visualize the categories. If you did this online, and you can plug it in, I believe you can plug it into the online tool, OptimalSort, which could give you back something like this. You can see how strong the groups are between participants, and it's just a beautiful way to visualize the data. Alright, those are the steps on how to run a card sort study. Now, here are some other tips. You don't have to test with just words. You can test with images or chunks of content. I've done card sorts with my team where they were only interested in the navigation menu of a website, not the actual content of the page. What I did was remove the navigation menu but kept the content on the page. So there was a blank space, like how I'm showing here. Then I asked participants, how would you organize that part of the menu? And you might run a hybrid type of study where you do an open card sort study first and then closed card sort study. This way, the closed card sort study can help you understand if the outcome of the open card sort makes sense. That's one way you can do it. But in my opinion, if you wanted to test the outcome of an open card sort, a better way would be a tree test. A tree test is where you literally just show the categories and ask participants, to find something. Like, where would you click if you wanted to find something? Because that's more realistic in real life. So that's a rundown on the card sorting method for UX research. And if you want to see me do an example case study of a card sort in real life, comment down below. Maybe I'll even go to a coffee shop to test it out. Comment down below your ideas. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I post all things UX research related to help you become the most badass UX leader. Mad love. Peace. Card sorting. Oh my gosh. I knew I was gonna regret doing that.